Konnichiwa minasan. So today I wanted to talk about the Japanese language. I know I made some videos on finance and other finance related topics, but since I'm minoring in Japanese, I decided to make some videos on Japanese to help others out there who are interested in learning the language or perhaps just curious about the language. So I want to start by going over the grammar, and then I have some books here that I want to cover. So let's go ahead and start with the Japanese grammar. So the written system is comprised of three different writing systems that are formed into one. And there's actually one more which I'm not going to mention in this video. The three main systems are hiragana, katakana, and kanji. Hiragana is basically a syllable letter system that connects other words with one another through particles, or it can be used to spell out words through syllables. It's usually learned by children first, and then they learn katakana, and then finally kanji. Katakana is used mainly for foreign words, so my name would be spelled in katakana, and also words that are not Japanese by nature are usually written in katakana. And finally, kanji is the symbolic system of Chinese characters that was adopted from the Chinese writing system, where each character actually has a meaning, and the character can be pronounced in two different ways: the original Chinese way and then the Japanese way. Now, all three of these systems come together usually in Japanese writing. But as an introduction, you are probably going to learn hiragana and katakana and then slowly learn kanji as you work your way up. So I wanted to talk about some books that are going to help you learn hiragana and katakana. Here's one book. It's called Kana de Manga. It's a great book because it shows you the stroke order for the hiragana and the katakana. And also it gives you like a word every time you learn. So it's a great tool. As you can see, you can learn how to form words and stuff using just hiragana and katakana. So this is a great book, and it costs only $10. So I would say to buy this, it's a great investment. There is a companion to this book that you can buy to learn hiragana, and it's called Let's Learn Hiragana. This one is also a great book because it shows you how to stop at certain areas in the character. Like certain characters will stop and start. They have like a tick, and you either release the pen or you make a point on the pen or something like that. So that's a great book for learning that. It's a great companion. However, I still think the Kana de Manga is a better book in general. Then we have the Kanji de Manga, Volume 1. And this is where you start learning the actual symbols, the Chinese symbols that are in Japanese. This is a very good book because it also, again, shows you the stroke order, and you're going to need this at some point. If you can't read kanji, then you pretty much cannot read most of the Japanese language. Kanji is very difficult, and I'm still practicing my kanji right now. I don't really know that much kanji. And then for Japanese grammar and the writing system, we have something called Japanese for Busy People. Now, I know a lot of people don't like this book. They say that it is too focused on easy, quick sentences and quick phrases like "How much does this cost? Where can I go?" Blah blah blah. But I actually found this book to be very useful because you kind of get a sense of the culture immediately. It shows you certain things like how to bow, cultural things. Let me see. There was this one section in the book talking about visiting a Japanese home or something. Yeah, see. Shows like when you visit a Japanese home, what you can expect. It's a great book for the grammar, and it also shows you key phrases that you might want to use, and you can actually build upon these phrases in your later Japanese learning. So I actually recommend this book. There's two versions. There's the romanized version, and there is also, I believe, the hiragana version, where it's strictly written in hiragana and katakana, or the kana version, I believe it's called. The difference is that the romanized version takes, obviously, it will have English to explain things, and I believe the Kana version is written in basic Japanese, or when you're spelling out a sentence or a Japanese word, it won't use the Latin characters, it will use the Japanese characters. Over here, it uses the Latin characters, but it shows you the Kana right next to it. Also, if you want like a more textbook style book, you can check out this book. It's called Nakama. And this one is straight for like an academic setting. It's a good book because it really goes in depth on the grammar and basically how to use forms like o and te, like particles. This is also a great book, and it usually comes with a sort of like a lab manual that comes along with it. I actually used this for my first Japanese class. And so those are the books. Now, in terms of actually learning the language, you're going to need more than books, obviously. As with any language, a lot of practice is necessary and a lot of interaction is necessary to learn the language. If you are really interested in pursuing Japanese and learning the Japanese language, I would first suggest getting some Japanese friends. It's really great to interact with your friends in their own mother tongue, and they can point out any mistakes that you've made or help you out with it. It's also great if you know any pen pals or buddies internationally. There are some websites where you can connect with people online. There's one website that comes to the top of my head. It's called interpals.net. I'll put that in my description. And basically you go to that website and you can meet other people. I've met a lot of people from Japan there, and you can basically type to them in Japanese, and a lot of them want to learn English, so they can type to you in English or Japanese, and you guys help each other out. It's a great learning tool. Additionally, there are many other things that you can do, such as watching animes or listening to music, Japanese music, Japanese anime, or simply watching some dramas. Some activities like that really help you learn and hear the language. And I think it's important to hear the Japanese language because the more you are exposed to it, the more used to you get to the tone of the language, when to do certain things, when to use certain phrases. So in terms of actually learning the language completely, you want to immerse yourself in it. So pretty much get the books, get some Japanese friends, listen to music, watch some dramas, and basically try to do everything so that you can expose yourself the most to the language. Let's see if there are any other tips that I have. You can also enroll in a course, a Japanese course. Of course, courses help a lot, but a course is not going to make you immediately learn the language. You have to apply yourself in the course and do all the homework and everything, and also do all those other external things that I mentioned so that you can appreciate and understand the culture and language. So that's pretty much the tips that I have for anybody who's interested in learning Japanese. I'm going to make some more videos, probably get some more in depth on some basic phrases, some grammatical structure, things like that. But that's pretty much the introductory video I wanted to make. If you have any questions about the Japanese language or anything in general, if you're in a specific scenario in learning the language, or you're just interested and you want to know more, just feel free to send me a PM or a comment, and I'll be sure to reply as quick as possible. Thank you.